Welcome to Solve It Like a Marketer. Today we're exploring ethical issues in marketing communications 2020 with examples. I'll be right back. So what is ethical marketing? Well, ethical marketing is less about strategy and more of a philosophy that informs your marketing efforts. Now, it aims to promote honesty, fairness, and responsibility in all areas of marketing. And this could be from your advertising to public relations. But deciding on what's ethical and what's not is actually very difficult because everyone has their own subjective viewpoint on what's right and on what's wrong. Now, because of this, there are no hard and fast rules when it comes to ethical marketing conduct or way of thinking. It's more of a set of guidelines and mutual understanding within the industry that people choose to follow. Now, what makes life complicated is that unethical marketing practices can be just as effective as ethical ones in terms of enticing customers to buy. Unethical marketing is also not necessarily against the law, so there are many agencies that use unethical but legal advertising to gain a competitive advantage. Now, a very common example are weight loss supplements, showing the before and after shots of happy people who have used the product and succeeded, apparently, to become trim. But did they actually use the product? Likely not. And it's not surprising that Facebook banned these types of before and after advertising approaches as unethical and misleading. And again, what we should note is, though unethical, this approach is not illegal. So there's the loophole. Now, on the flip side, consumers are becoming more and more aware of unethical practices in marketing and will blacklist companies that engage in this kind of behavior. So thank goodness for social media. Now for some examples of unethical marketing practices. Let's kick it off with Dove Soap, who missed the mark with their campaign featuring real women. The ad was meant to promote realistic body images and encourage girls to love the way they look, even if they're not supermodels. But this kind of backfired because before and after the campaign, Dove ads featured stereotypically beautiful models whose images had been altered to hide imperfections. Now, this sends mixed messaging. Was it illegal? No. Ethical? Not so much. Here's one you likely caught: when Pepsi trivialized social justice movements in 2017 with an ad featuring Kendall Jenner. Now, the highlight was her passing the Pepsi can to a police officer, thereby stopping the protests. Yikes! By the way, the images that you're seeing are a rework of the original ad, underlying Pepsi's misstep in using social justice movements to sell soda. Finally, here's an ad from the UK featuring Kellogg cereals being promoted by Santa Claus. Now, the marketing of sugary cereals to kids definitely falls into the area of unethical. Bottom line is, these are not healthy food groups, but kids see cartoon hero figures, or in this case Santa, telling them to go out and buy the product. Illegal? No. Ethical? Not really. You know, I often look at these types of campaigns and think about the people sitting around the boardroom table making these kinds of creative decisions. And it amazes me that individually, no one raises an objection, and that collectively, everyone feels perfectly comfortable with questionable marketing practices. Go figure. Now, for your challenge this week, I want you to think about your own company or your studies in marketing by reflecting on the principles of ethical marketing. Now, these are pretty universal, but they are a good guideline. First up, all marketing communications share the common standard of truth. Marketing professionals follow the highest standard of personal ethics. Advertising is distinguished from news and entertainment content. Marketers should be transparent about who they pay to endorse their products. Consumers should be treated fairly based on the nature of the product and the nature of the consumer. For instance, as we talked about, marketing to children. The privacy of the consumer should never be compromised. Marketers must comply with regulations and standards established by governmental and professional organizations. Ethics should be discussed openly and honestly during all marketing decisions. Now, as I say, these are pretty broad in nature, but they are a basis for common understanding of ethics in marketing. Now, having said all of this, ethics is, at the best of times, pretty blurry and tends to shift with time and societal norms. But it's up to companies to adapt with these changes, always keeping the best interests of their customer at heart. And in the end, companies that follow an ethical philosophy of marketing will find themselves retaining loyal customers over the long term who appreciate their honesty. If you'd like to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. We'll see you every week with a new video, so please stay tuned, and together, let's solve it like a marketer.